Hello and welcome. My name is Miche and I'm Digital and Partnership Manager for Impact, Turning Point's Swindon and Wiltshire Active Recovery Drug and Alcohol Service. I'm having a series of conversations with a few of my wonderful colleagues about their thoughts on Alcohol Awareness Week and what people might expect from services. Today I'm going to be talking to John, and I'm going to ask John to introduce himself and explain what his role is here at Impact and how we got here. So over to you, John.
Yeah, my name's John. I'm a recovery worker here at Turning Point, and I got involved with Turning Point after my own battle with alcohol addiction, after which I became a peer mentor here. And after a while of doing that, I got a job as a recovery worker.
Thank you. What would you say, John, to there may be people listening who are starting to question their own alcohol consumption? What might you say to them?
Well, I think if you are starting to question your alcohol consumption, then there probably is something there that needs addressing. And maybe deep down you already know you need to address it. But the first thing I would say is to tell someone, talk to someone close to you, talk to someone who you trust, who you feel comfortable talking to about it. And that way you already start the ball rolling with being honest with yourself and being honest with other people, which is key to recovery.
Yeah, quite agree. It's just that being able to speak out and, like you say, finding somebody that you trust, maybe first and foremost. And then, of course, you know, here at Impact, we'd be quite happy to talk to anybody, even if it was for that initial informal chat. But actually, we recognise people may be nervous about contacting us. What might you say to people?
I think one of the main things we focus on here at Turning Point is the non-judgmental nature of the support we offer, and I would also say that approaching Turning Point or any organisation for help and support, you immediately start to feel some relief just by vocalising in it, externalising how you're feeling. And you'll come into contact with peer mentors and people who've been through the same experience, and that in itself is very reassuring, and you don't feel quite so alone. And although it's quite intimidating and daunting to get involved in an organisation that you might not know anything about, and with strange people, so to speak, it's actually one of the best things you can do, and you'll immediately start to feel the benefits from it.
Sounds like for you that was something that was really quite pivotal and an important start of your recovery, really, was that reaching out and then knowing that, you know, you've really gone through it in the peer mentors that were there maybe to support you, and then in turn at some point you became a peer mentor yourself.
Absolutely. It's, you know, it's a dark place when you realize that you do need help. That is a very dark, kind of scary place, and you do think that you're the only person in the world who has this problem, because there's still a lot of stigma around it, and you're maybe not used to talking about it, and so it's quite a daunting prospect to approach anyone to talk about it. But that's what I found coming into the service is that immediate support from people who know what you're going through.
Yeah, and that's key. And like you say, you know, peer mentors are amazing at offering that support. And we have got a good peer mentoring program here, and people that really want to reach out and support others. So part of the reason for doing this recording is it's Alcohol Awareness Week, and we want to be, you know, instrumental in raising awareness, really. What can you kind of say that people can expect from, you know, if they make a referral for themselves, what do you think they can expect in terms of if they were coming to us because they've realised their drink is they're not quite happy with where it's at in their life?
Again, it's the non-judgmental aspect, I think, is an important one to stress, because I think a lot of people fear there's a lot of guilt and embarrassment sometimes where there needn't be. So a non-judgmental support, confidential support, a listening environment, a safe environment, and somewhere where you can really let go of the denial, the secrecy in some cases, and deceit in some cases, and just be honest and open in a safe space. And that's where the healing process begins, really.
Yeah, sounds like yeah, it's really powerful. And like you say, it's about maybe for some people becoming honest with yourself, and then in turn you can be honest with others who are then able to support you in various ways.
Absolutely, I think that's where it starts. And sometimes it takes a while to get to that point. You know, the denial stage is quite long, and it was for me. And because we don't like to believe that we are vulnerable or needing help, or we like to think that we can handle it ourselves, perhaps, but you can't. And once you get over that, and you start talking honestly to yourself to begin with, and then communicating that honesty to other people, then you're on the right track.
Yeah, and I think that's echoed. We very often hear from people, don't we, that they've been trying for a long time, or they may have managed to cut down, but they couldn't quite get to the point where they wanted to be. And like you say, sometimes it can take people a long time to reach that realization that getting professional support and help
And also, I would say you're battling yourself a lot of the time. When you're on your own in the battle, you've only got yourself to discuss it with. And then so you're battling your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own subconscious, and you'll find excuses not to ask for help. You'll find reasons why you will be okay without help. um, so as soon as you start to reach out for help, then you get different perspectives, different handles on things, and then things can really become much clearer in your own mind.
Yeah, and that kind of echoes, like you say, that kind of isolation and sitting with it in yourself. We know that the theme for this year's Alcohol Awareness Week is alcohol mental health, and it's no secret to anybody. Everybody's acutely aware of the pandemic has caused real isolation for some people. We've been in lockdown. We're in the second lockdown currently, and again, that in itself, I think, can highlight people's amount they might be drinking.
Absolutely. And the nature of society is that it's socially acceptable, right? So I think any excuse sometimes to increase our drinking, we will grab. And lockdown has provided a strange kind of excuse for a lot of people, when actually I think it's a great opportunity to embrace some change. It's a great opportunity for some self-reflection, to have a look at your behaviors and have a look at your habits and your routines that might be negative or destructive, and to reassess. And so I think that's how I've looked at lockdown. Even though I haven't had a drink for a long time, there's still elements of my life you can have a look at and change. And so, Alcohol Awareness Week coming at this time, I think is quite powerful, actually, because it's put a sharper spotlight on people's drinking.
Yeah, it sounds like, and lockdown will be different for everybody, I'm guessing, but it sounds like you've looked at it from a point of view of it can be a place to reflect positively and look at other changes you may wish to make.
Yeah, and I mean, the way to think about that is, what's the alternative? You know, it's I think you have to try and deal positively with these things, and try and find a catalyst for change in there.
Yeah, very much so. John, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out today and sharing some of your thoughts with me and allowing me to share this recording. And I'd like to say, for anybody listening who's thinking of making contact with us, even if it is just for that informal chat or wanting to question, you know, where is my alcohol at? Can somebody help me to understand whether it is at a problematic level? Please do give us a call. Our out of hours number is 0345 603 6993. You can email us if you prefer, impactreferrals@turning-point.co.uk. You could also search for our webpage, the Wiltshire Wellbeing Cloud, where there is lots of useful information and you can even make a self-referral from. And you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks again, John, for your time today.
No problem.